wine assistant to Giovanni, which is in the property. We have another dinner in the property. So a few words about this beautiful house in here. So Massimo and Lara bought it. This was an auction, the auction. Massimo put the bet he wanted to, then he forgot about this property. Until the day, because it was suggested from Sergio Mattione, he's one of Italian politician in here, and he suggested this property to Massimo because it's a very strategic position. So it's very close to Bologna Airport, he travels a lot, 50 minutes from Osteria Francescana, it's 20 minutes from Maranello, he got a passion for cars. He forgot about it until they received a call like, hey Massimo, the property is yours. And I was like, which property? So they got here, they saw these huge spaces, beautiful gardens, and at first they want this to be their countryside house. Then they realized from the size of it, they start to bring here things, like Massimo's cars, the cars collection, the music record, all the art that they have. And then they decided there was such a shame to keep all this beauty private. So they decided to open the door for everyone that wished to visit. And this is an amazing expression of the thinking, so it's really an idea that we wanted to move in here for a specific reason. Okay, let's get to the menu. So I bet you're hungry. Okay, what we're going to have tonight is actually a time capsule, and you will find all the very historic dishes of Osteria Francescana, the dishes that very humbly have made history of Osteria Francescana and in Italian cuisine in general. So we are going to start with Monza Michel. Monza Michel is a dish that dates back to the year 2000 and is a memory of a Teen Massimo. Teen Massimo, his first trip to Normandy, to Monza Michel, was with his brothers, and it was one of the first times for him to try flavors that we didn't have in Italy. They were not that common in Italy at the time. Fresh oyster, champagne, apple cider, even lamb, which is quite different from the one we have in Italy. So this first dish is going to be literally peeled out from this memory. So in an oyster shell, at the bottom you have a lamb tartare. It's the lamb that we take from Normandy, and French people, they call it pre-salé, like pre-salted. Because this animal, they breed by the coast, so the meat is already naturally quite salty. It's covered by a fake mayo. It's a mayonnaise made only with 3 ingredients. We have fresh oyster, seawater, and a little bit of olive oil. Everything is going to be topped with a apple cider granita. So a few fresh bites for you to start this evening. Second dish, beautiful name. If I'm wrong, I'm right. For the ladies. No. So if I'm wrong, I'm right is one of the youngest dishes we have on the menu. It dates back to 2020. So we were in the middle of pandemic. Here in Italy, it was quite strict, in Modena. And French kind of family, we do come from all around the world. And it was so sad that, we couldn't move from Modena, so we were left alone here, and you couldn't work, you couldn't do anything for a chef. This is, you couldn't die inside. So Massimo was trying to find something to keep this group alive. And so all of a sudden, one day he sent a message, Sgt. Pepper Lonely Heart Club Band, make a dish. So there was a specific moment in time during COVID when everyone of French kind of family was listening to this Beatles album to try to understand what Massimo meant by it, which dishes he wanted us to create. So by listening to it, we understood that it was a melting pot of different music style. It was the beginning of English psychedelia. And so are we. So we are a melting pot of different cultures, culinary backgrounds. So every single one of us could have brought something special to this menu. From all the dishes that the guys made, he created a whole entire menu, and it was called With a Little Help from My Friends. And If I'm Wrong, I'm Right was one of the dishes. And it's going to be a trip. It's a trip that starts from Asia. It's going to stop in Casa Maria Luigi, and it's going to go all the way down to Sicily. So we choose the cod, because cod has been renowned to be the traveler fish. So even in Italy, like north to south, you can find thousands of recipes that include cod. We use a black Alaskan cod that we marinated in honey first. We have a honey production here. We lightly smoke it, we can sear it. It's stocked with seasonal greens, vegetables, everything from our garden. And we are going to finish that with a sauce which is made with almond from Noto, so down to Sicily. And on the other side of the plate, as a floral decoration, you will find all the flavor from Asia. So you have green curry, coconut, ginger, spices, the recent one that came on the menu, and it is a stunning dish. Last but not least for this first round, then I need to tell you something. I will be back here like often tonight to bother your conversation a little bit. So we are just explaining 3 dishes at a time, like that I'll give you a little bit of time to enjoy your dinner, be merry with each other. So last but not least, rice camouflage. Rice camouflage for Massimo reflects Emilia-Romagna. So here in Emilia-Romagna we have 3 different landscapes: seaside, mountains, and valley. And these 3 are going to be reflected in 3 different risottos in a plate that are going to be forming a camouflage pattern. So a black one is made with all the products from the sea: calamari, squid ink, fish broth. A green one for the valley, so it's made out of chlorophyll and campanina apple. And a brown one for the mountain products. So you have porcini mushroom, truffle. And these are the first 3 dishes of tonight. Last but not least, very briefly, Casa Maria has been renowned to be home away from home. And this extends to our dinner experience as well. So we have an open kitchen, we break all the walls. In Osteria Francescana, the kitchen is down to a very narrow corridor. So guests, they don't get to see the chef, they don't get to see the guests. In here we did remove all of this. So you feel free to stand up tonight, come closer here, take picture, ask questions. They look like they bite, they don't. So yeah, really, like don't feel yourself like you need to stay attached to your chairs. This is your room, this is your night. So that's all. Buon appetito everyone. Thank you. I was not even 10, I didn't have the time. It's really an honor to talk about such a thing. So 5 different ages of Parmigiano Reggiano in 5 different texture and temperature. This for sure is a dish that made a lot of people talk, especially a lot of Modenese talk. Because, you know, for us Parmigiano is an ingredient. You eat a chunk of Parmigiano, you don't eat it in 5 different texture and temperatures. So for sure Massimo did upset 3 people back then. At the point that consortium of Parmigiano told him, and he was like, Massimo, we're so happy that you opened your new restaurant. Back then it was Trattoria del Campazzo, his very first restaurant. Like, congrats, but then we ask you to please not make this dish because we think that this is not reflecting the image that we want to give to Parmigiano Reggiano worldwide, so please stop. Massimo being Massimo said, of course not. He kept going with it, time changed, kitchen, culinary things evolved. And so it was nominated to be Dish of the Decade after a few years. And it got even written down on some of the most important newspapers in Italy for food. And he did receive a second phone call from the guy. And he was like, Maestro, sorry, we wanted to ask you if it's possible to use the picture of 5 different ages for the consortium website. Why not? Yeah. So they are great friends nowadays. And people they were asking me back then about the earthquake as well that was in 2012. So it's true that everything was destroyed, like a lot of production of cheese was destroyed, and with the collaboration of Massimo, he helped all these producers to actually sell even though it was broken. So at the bottom you will find the youngest one we have is in a demi-soufflé and it's made with 24 months Parmigiano. Next to it there's a foam, is a 30 months old Parmigiano. All around a cold cream is 36. Right in the middle a crunchy galletta is 40. And right on top there's an air of Parmigiano. Is the oldest one we have is 50 months old Parmigiano. So this dish says a lot about territory. Second dish of the second round says a lot about memories. The crunchy part of the lasagna. So I think this is a sharing memory for every one of us, having Sundays at home, families, and like kids enjoy to like smooch the hands over like warm food still in the oven, lasagna in this case. Thing is, Massimo grew up in a very big family. There were 5 brothers, between brothers and sisters, but problem is there's only 4 corners in a tray of lasagna. So there will always one more kid left without the crunchy part of lasagna. So he decided you should have your own. He wanted to have his own. And one more thing, Massimo culinary philosophy is to actually look back at tradition, not being nostalgic, wanting to do more. So reinterpret these dishes that tradition gave him with a modern eyes, innovative way. So also this lasagna, you're going to have traditional flavor, just in a modern heat. So at the bottom, you have a medium ragu. It's made with beef and we use head to tail. It's going to be topped by a besciamella foam, which is way lighter than the classic besciamella. Then you have the crunchy corner, which is made out of real pasta. We use spaghetti. So basically we just overcook this pasta and then we roll it, like we blend it and roll it like a proper dough of lasagna. Then we have big sheets. Then we cut it in small rectangular and we dehydrated it, fried it, burn it, torch it, smoked it, so everything's actually arrived with the perfect texture of lasagna. Third and last for this second round, we're talking about art. So Massimo is really into art, he's moved by it, art, music, and around this property we have a lot of Damien Hirst. Damien Hirst is the same one you have on the wall with the butterflies. And Damien is really famous for one particular style, which is spin painting. So basically you hang these huge canvases on the spinning machine and then you throw buckets of paint at the canvases. So while they move in it, and some people said he was giving the name to what he was creating. In the meantime, he was creating it. So it's really something that can feel the vibe, not feel the energy. And we are going to replicate the spin painting by using edible colors. So you're going to have the classic side dishes, so from roasted potatoes to bell pepper, arugula, beetroot. Once again, we take whatever we can from our garden. And then in the middle, you're going to have a fillet of Fassona Piemontese. Fassona Piemontese is a race that comes from Piedmont, the best meat when you come to Italy. These animals are raised open sky. We are around 2,000 meters on the mountain. The way we cook it makes it really special. On the menu, it says veal. It is not veal. We call it veal because of the texture. So we cook it very slowly, twice, sous vide, with the ashes of the aromatic herbs from the garden, charcoal oil. So you will have the texture of a fillet of veal, but with the flavor of a full barbecue grilled meat. So with that one, we're also going to serve homemade sourdough bread that is to make scaffetta. So don't be shy, scaffetta, Giovanni likes to say is the Italian art to clean the plate with a piece of bread. Oh, yeah. Don't need to add anything. So enjoy the next 3. I'll see you later for dessert. Okay? Thank you.
Wow.
Caesar on Rose. Beautiful story. Around 30 years ago, Massimo was to meet Lara's father. Lara is his wife, the lady that she walked in before. And they met at the Four Seasons in New York. They were having lunch, Massimo and his father, and he was having a Caesar salad in this first season. At the time, the chef was Italian. So Massimo looked at Lara's father and was like, you know what? When I will have my Michelin star restaurant, I will serve my own Caesar salad. when he opened Osteria Francescana in Via Stella, he was serving Caesar in Emilia. So basically a Caesar salad made with all the ingredients from Emilia Romagna. So as soon as we moved this year, as I said before, we have beautiful gardens, especially now everything is blooming. Of course, it was going to be Caesar on road. So made with all the ingredients we can find in the garden. So in the heart of a romaine lettuce is filled with all the aromatic herbs from the garden. At the bottom we have a puree which is made with cherry that comes from Vignola. Vignola is a town here nearby, very famous worldwide for the production of cherry. You have almond yogurt, you have salted peanuts, and then everything is covered, like it's coated with these rose petals. That's always come from Chardonnay region. And we're going to finish this dessert with some edible perfume on top, so the rose perfume as well. Moving on to, oops, I dropped the lemon tart. So this dessert used to be called lemon tart. Something happened. So it was born by mistake. At the time, Massimo was working with Taka. Taka is Japanese, has been Massimo's sous chef for so many years, and nowadays, yes, he's still working with Massimo. He's in Florence with his wife. They just had a baby. So story goes that it was the end of the service. Last two lemon tarts needed to go out. Last table. Accidentally, Taka dropped one of them on the floor. He kind of froze because, well, it's Japanese first of all. So, you know, Japanese people are very precise. The whole kitchen stopped. Like there was not even a fly around. Massimo was fixing the radio, and then he looked at the mess on the floor, and everyone was like, okay. And he actually came out saying, Taka, I think this is the most beautiful thing you ever created. And everyone was like, that's cool. Yes, we kept on breathing, just everyone was holding up. And so actually for Massimo, the broken lemon tart was the perfect expression of that dessert. Because this is a dessert made with all the flavor from the south of Italy. So south of Italy is not perfect for, I think none of the places we live in are perfect. Every single one of them, they are so beautiful in their own way, but not perfect. So from that story, Massimo kept on serving for the next 10 years, and so lemon tart, that's a broken one, so they changed the name as a drop lemon tart. So you're going to have all the flavor from south of Italy. The famous yellow splash, that you also have in your brochure, is a zabaione made with limoncello. You're going to have all the citrus from Amalfi, oranges, lemon, capers, chili from Calabria, oregano, a little bit of salt as well to mix it up. For those of you who are having the wine pairing, what I just served to you is a Malvasia. So we come back here in Emilia for this wine. So it's not going to be a sweet wine as our dessert. They are not going to be completely sweet. So it's a dry wine. It's very floral, very aromatic. So I'll let you enjoy the dessert, and then for last time I'll be back later on to spoil you the surprise. Okay, thank you. So at last, surprise. There is one dish you did not have. It's so weird that you didn't have it. You're in Modena, you're in Massimo's house. This is one of Massimo's favorite ever. This is one of his signature dishes. So a surprise of tonight is going to be tortellini.
Oh.
So they're going to be savory, they're going to be the traditional ones, so still handmade them. They're going to be teeny tiny because they use the pinky finger to roll them up. They're going to be filled with veal prosciutto, mortadella, and parmesan, garlic with a 36-month parmesan cheese cream. So I actually want to spend a few words about this because they are part of a very beautiful thing that Massimo does. So we take this from Tortellante. Tortellante is an association, no profit, that Massimo opens years ago with his son Charlie. So his son Charlie is a beautiful son. He's a young adult with genetic syndromes. So Massimo wanted to give a future to these people. So he opened this lab. So basically they're making fresh pasta. And as we have a good amount of granny here in Modena, they are retired, they don't know what to do the whole day, and they enjoy working with pasta. So we put together these two people, young adults, they really want to work, and granny that they don't know what to do, but they know how to make pasta. And together, they are the tortellini. So they make the tortellini that nowadays they are served in every single one of Massimo's restaurants. So it's very beautiful. Okay, last but not least, enough talking. So a big thank you. It has been a pleasure. So a big thank you from me, from Fabio, our methodist, they have been handling the whole night. And of course I want to give you the name of the people that cook for you tonight. So we have, okay, I'm starting with the sous chef, Luca. He is from Modena. Okay, so. Alice, she is one of the youngest. She comes from Tuscany. So yeah, who we have back? I don't know who's back. Alessio? Okay, we have part of the team is upstairs. Upstairs we have our prep kitchen, so I'm not sure who's at the back. We have also Alessio, he comes from the center of Italy. We have Lucchino, which means small Luca is a 2-meter guy. So a big thank you everyone, thank you, and enjoy the surprise. Out of white chocolate and it's filled with basil and pine nuts. That one with a small green leaf on top is called caprese and it's made with almond and lemon. To finish with a dough, which is a chocolate mousse and with juniper balsamic vinegar of our acciaio.
Thank you. What did you say the green one was called?
That one is a tribute to Massimo, one of Massimo's dishes, and the dish is called pasta al pesto and abstract.
Thank you.
Hi everyone.